All right, guys, this is going to be a demonstration of the short show. It's going to be vegetables only without the chicken and potatoes. So we're going to get going right now. By the way, who likes to cook? You like to cook?
I like to cook.
You? Good. Who likes to eat?
I love to eat.
We all do, don't we? Eating's not a fad.
Nuh-uh.
How would you like to eat all the foods you want and not worry about the bad stuff? High cholesterol, diabetes, blood pressure, things like that? That's kind of what my show's about. And I'm gonna do that by using waterless and greaseless cookware. Now, we've been making this cookware since 1906. I look pretty good, don't I? I tell a lot of bad jokes. Be prepared for that. No, we did start back in 1906, and back in the early days, we had a tool that was very similar to this one, except that it used to have a C-clamp, went underneath the countertop, and that's where you grind your vegetables. Now we've got a high chrome finish, so it looks good, but the magic is actually this rubber base. If you'll put this on any flat surface, just turn that little lever, 600 pounds of pressure, not going anywhere. Now I'm gonna start by cutting up some carrots for you, and I have a little hint. If you're gonna cook carrots at home, wash them and scrub them, don't peel them. 70% of the nutrients of the carrot's actually in its skin. You wanna leave that skin on. Just give it a nice healthy bath, all right? So we go ahead and grab some carrots. And what I do is I take the carrot, put it to the back of the hopper, and just turn the handle. It's pretty quick, isn't it? Now there's a couple of things I want you to remember about the tool. First of all, if you ever get one, leave it on your countertop. Because if you put it away, what's gonna happen?
You don't know how to put it back together.
Out of sight, out of mind. Goes into the gadget graveyard where the Cuisinart sits. Second thing to remember, when you get to the bottom of the carrot, let go. Otherwise you got finger food, and that's not a good thing. Now there's a safety device built in. Anytime my fingers go to the back of that hopper and start to get cut, this hand stops.
Yeah.
As funny as I get. No. Guys, you can always buy carrots already cut up like this at the grocery store. They cost you about 4 times more than a carrot should. Usually they're dried out and they don't taste very good. Now I am going to show you more of this machine in just a few minutes when I make the salad for you. But let me go ahead and officially start the show. My name is Steve. I'll be your chef. Everybody say hi, Steve.
Hi, Steve.
Hi, everybody. I'd like to get your names too on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, got them. By the way, the name of the cookware is Kitchen Craft. Now, a lot of people know us better from our original factory name. We used to be part of the old West Bend company. Now, we make Kitchen Craft and Luster Craft. The smallest utensil I'm going to use in my show today is a little 1 quart, and I am going to start by putting these carrots in the bottom. Besides vitamin A, does anybody here know the name of the natural medicine we find in carrots? Beta-carotene, very good. Beta-carotene is actually the first known cancer preventative medicine there is, and it's right there in your vegetable garden. So we'll add some carrots to the pan. We're gonna add some other vegetables as well. I got some dark green like broccoli and zucchini. How many of you ladies like broccoli and zucchini? The reason I ask women, not men, for women, broccoli and zucchini are the 2 best garden vegetables to help prevent breast cancer. Good for men too, we get breast cancer as well, but especially for the ladies. I got 3 daughters, lots of broccoli and zucchini goes through my house, let me tell you. Yellow squash, very high in vitamin C. We got some purple cabbage, high in iron. Corn on the cob, because I like corn on the cob. And I am stuffing it in, isn't it? And I'm gonna add just a couple slivers of red bell pepper. Now, does anybody know the difference between a red bell pepper and a green bell pepper, other than the obvious color?
One is mature and the other one is ripe.
Excellent. The red one's the ripe one. The green one's not ripe yet. The red one sits on that vine about 3.5 weeks longer. Now, it does change color in those 3 weeks, but also it pulls a lot of nutrients out of that soil. So when you get to the grocery store, there's a difference too, isn't there? Called price. This particular case, you are getting what you pay for. A red bell pepper plus 320% of the recommended daily allowance of vitamin C that your body needs. Now, I use it for a completely different reason. I use it for the color. We eat with our eyes first. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's actually 2 colors that make people hungry, especially kids, red and yellow. You know how we know that? Well, what color is the McDonald's sign? Red and yellow. Shows Burger King, Wendy's, Pizza Hut, Sunny, Sonic, Denny's, Checkers, Rally's, Bojangles, Bob Evans, they're all red and yellow signs. It's on purpose. The marketers are actually pretty sneaky. They're even going to get you in the grocery store. Red and yellow. Don't ever paint your kitchen red and yellow. You'll be eating an awful lot, okay? Now, I did learn from the marketers. I put red on yellow and kids will eat vegetables. Doesn't that look good? Now, if you were cooking these vegetables at home, what would be the next ingredient you normally add? Water. And I'm here to tell you, it doesn't matter if it's a little bit of water or a lot of water. It doesn't matter if you're boiling or steaming. The end result will be the same. When you're done cooking your vegetables, you're going to pour that water out. And when you pour the water out, what's going to be coming out with the water?
Wow.
Vitamin A, vitamin B, beta carotene. That's 5 seconds of rinsing. Can you imagine what's going to happen in 20 minutes of boiling or steaming? So we're going to cook without water. We're going to drain the water out, leave the nutrients in. I do want you guys to keep those colors in your mind's eye, okay? I'm going to put the lid on. We're going to put this on the burner. Now I'm going to put it on to medium heat. With our cookware, medium to low is all you need to know. Let me do it this way, okay? Now, what's your first name?
Susanna.
Susanna? Susanna, in about 4 or 5 minutes, you're going to see a steady stream of vapor coming from that lid. When you see that vapor, would you say, hey, Steve, those vegetables are ready? Right? And by the way, if they burn, who are we going to blame? Susanna. No, I got your back. We can do that. All right, let's get ahead and I'm going to do some vegetables the old-fashioned way as well. I'm going to go ahead and boil these. The reason I do this in my show is so you guys can actually taste the difference of cooking with water versus cooking without, okay? So we'll add the nutrients from that first batch just to help those along. And let's go ahead and get to the main course. How many, oh, actually, but this time in our show, we usually do fried chicken without grease. We're not gonna be doing it in this particular show because it's a vegetable-only show, but just keep in mind, you can use this cookware without grease or oil as well, okay? So, let me go ahead and get the kitchen cutter back out, and I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do a salad for you. Anybody here eat a fresh salad every day? Try to, at least. It's so good for you, so good for you. I'm gonna do a salad for you, but I'm gonna actually start it off as a stir fry. Do you like stir fry? What's the hardest part about making stir fry? Chopping up those vegetables. Let's see how fast I can do it with this tool. And by the way, I do call it a tool, not a gadget. This is a kitchen tool. So we're gonna start with these carrots from earlier. We're gonna add some other vegetables. We got some yellow squash. Put the yellow squash right on top of the cone, turn the handle. Look at that nice julienne cut. Kind of looks like hash browns, doesn't it? If I had a potato, that's exactly what I'd be getting. We're gonna add some greens to it, so we have some zucchini. Now, I just hold the vegetables. The machine's actually doing all the work for me. And by the way, the motor on this machine, lifetime warranty. Thanks for laughing at that. My jokes get worse as I go. Let's see, how about green cabbage? Now, remember earlier I said for women, broccoli and zucchini were the best 2 garden vegetables for breast cancer? This is for the men in your lives. Raw green cabbage. If a man can have 2 servings of raw green cabbage in his diet every week, it'll help reduce the risk of prostate cancer by up to 70%. Now, it's inexpensive if you buy it by the head. It's only 39 to 59 cents a pound. But if you buy coleslaw, $2.49 a pound. All they do at that store, they get a couple high school kids in 2 of these machines, take some of that 39-cent cabbage and they turn it into $2.49. Smart for the store, not so smart for us. And by the way, I palm the cabbage, and the reason I palm it, I don't want it cutting the last leaf. The last leaf is where people handle it in the grocery store, and it's also where you find the pesticides. Throw that part away, keep the good stuff in the bowl. Purple cabbage, a little more expensive than the green, but about twice the amount of nutrients. It also has a nice color. It makes your food look good. And guys, if your food looks good, smells good, and tastes good, what are you gonna do? You're gonna eat it. Now, if it happens to be healthy for you and it tastes good, then you're never on a diet again. Now you eat healthy because you enjoy it, not because somebody said you had to. It makes a huge, huge difference. And by the way, that's a stir fry in about 30 seconds. Is that pretty quick? Now, I don't know if any of you have bought stir fry recently, but I saw it at Publix for $4.95 a bag, and that was a small bag. Do you ever open those store-bought vegetables and smell those bags? It smells like week-old vegetables, don't they? I found out why. It happens at the factory. That bag comes down a conveyor. It opens the bag, it drops the vegetables in. It closes the bag, goes to a second station, it sucks the oxygen out of the bag. Goes to a third station, they re-inject carbon dioxide. Keeps the vegetables looking fresh for up to 10 weeks. That's what you're smelling when you open those bags. That cost me about 75 cents to make it fresh. Do that a couple times a week, you save thousands in your life eating fresh, but you gotta have the right kind of kitchen tools. Who likes celery? Great sodium substitute. Put celery in soups and stews instead of salt. Much healthier for you. Still gives you that salty taste. What's the one thing most people don't like about celery? Strings on the back. We call it nature's dental floss. Here's your solution. Take your stringy side, put it to the back of the hopper, and turn the machine on. Now, it shreds the meat of that celery very nicely, but there's a part it's not cutting. And that's the part you don't want in your food in the first place. So now I'm going to have celery with no strings attached. Is that pretty cool?
Yeah.
How many of you out there like this kitchen cutter so far? Very nice. Who'd actually use one of these if it was in your kitchen? Yeah? Who'd take it if I gave it to you for free? Well, I better see some hands now. Stick with me, guys. I do get some free ones out. How about onions? We like onions? Onions are high in fiber. They're really good for your heart. Now, what I do with the onion is I'm going to cut it into quarters. I leave the skin on.
I see some steam from that, but not in the right place.
Oh, you do? Very good. Let's take a look at that. Can you guys see the vapor coming out of the pan? Now, we're cooking those vegetables without any water. So that's the natural moisture of those vegetables starting to vaporize. What did I say I needed to do when I saw that vapor? Take it off the burner. Now, they're not done cooking yet. They've only been on about 4 or 5 minutes, but I want you to watch how fast this vapor stops. As soon as I get it off the burner. This is how waterless cooking works. That vapor has now filled a reservoir around the top of this pan, creating a vapor seal. It's sealing the lid down. Because of the 7 layers of metals that we use to construct it, the first layer being cast iron, it now acts like an oven. It's going to continue to cook in its own heat. The good news is I don't need the stove any longer, so we're going to save some energy over there. And if you're saving energy, what are you really saving? Money. You boil or steam, it's 20 minutes on a burner. We just did 5. I'm going to put them on top of this pan right here. We'll let it continue to cook in its own heat. Now, our company always knew that you would save money by using our cookware. We just never knew how much. So we tested. Went to the University of Wisconsin. Found out that if you'll use it the way we show you to use it, you're going to save, on average, $1 per meal on the utility bill. Now, if you're only cooking 1 meal a day, that's still over $300 a year you save just because of your cookware. Good cookware is going to pay for itself. All right, onions. You guys like onions? Onions are high in fiber, great for your heart. I do cut them into quarters and I leave the skin on. And the reason I leave the skin on, underneath that skin is where that oil is. It turns to a gas when you're peeling it, makes you cry. So if you leave the skin on, palm it like I did that cabbage earlier, right on top. It's going to shred and peel the onion all at the same time, right down to the skin. Throw that part away, no time for tears, but you got beautiful shredded and peeled onions for your soups and salads. Now guys, it's a very safe machine. Are you noticing I'm putting my hand on the inside? That's how I get the food out. It's not going to cut me. Put my fingers on top of the teeth and turn the handle. My fingers do a little dance, but it doesn't cut me, and that's why I can palm those vegetables the way I've been doing. Now, if I stick my fingers to the back of the hopper, chef salad. Not going to show you that one. All right. I have one last ingredient for you. How many of you out there like cheese in your salad? We don't have any. I got to be honest, I love cheese. Our company's from West Bend, Wisconsin. We're cheeseheads up there. I do like cheese, but I'm also known as the healthy gourmet. And from a dietary standpoint, what's the drawback to cheese?
Fat.
Fat content, the cholesterol.
Dairy, too.
Now, they do make a non-fat cheese, and if you like the taste of cardboard, that's the one you buy, right? Otherwise, you got to get real cheese. Just be moderate about it, that's all. This cone that I have right here will shred cheese. It'll also shred carrot if you do carrot raisin salad. If you like zucchini bread, run a zucchini through here. I happen to like potato pancakes. Anybody else like potato pancakes? Lost art making good potato pancakes. Perfect cone to make them with. Now, instead of cheese, I'm going to use what they call a cheese plant, garden cheese. If you've never seen a cheese plant before, these are available in every grocery store. They have them in the vegetable department. Of course, at the store, they have a different name for it. They call it butternut squash. This is a member of the pumpkin family. It's got that hard rind like a pumpkin does. What I do is take that rind side, put it to the back of the hopper. What's that look like coming out of there? Cheddar cheese. Don't put it on the chili, it won't melt. Yeah. Look what it did. Stripped it right off of that rind. Throw that part away. We now have that 8 vegetable garden salad done in about 3 minutes if I wasn't doing all this talking up here. Oh. I lost my applause sign. Pretend I have an applause sign. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, by the way, that's the salad you had earlier. Did you get one of those salads earlier? This salad is not my recipe. I actually got it out of a health magazine. Has anybody here ever read a little magazine called Prevention? 8.5 years ago, I found a 3-page article in Prevention that had this salad recipe. I've been making it in my shows ever since, and the reason is this. Most of us don't get enough fruits and vegetables in our diets. Fruits and vegetables create antioxidants. That's what fights disease in your body. According to the article, because of these 8 vegetables, if you were to eat this salad 3 to 5 times a week, it would help reduce your risk of internal cancer by up to 85%. That's a huge number. The problem with making a salad like that, or eating a salad like that, is making a salad like that. You got to have the right tools. Now, obviously, this is the right tool. You can get one for free. I'll show you how at the end of the show. But I got to tell you, being a man, now the men here already know this. You ladies don't know this about us men. But when a man's born, he's got an extra gene added to him. It's called the tool gene. Men buy the right tool for the right job every time, don't we, fellas? Arr, 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 arr.
I got that gene.
You have that gene too?
Yeah.
You come to my house, you look in my garage, you're going to swear I'm Tim the Toolman Taylor. And I'll tell you something else about men. We don't buy cheap tools. You don't find a man at Walmart buying tools. We get Craftsman, Snap-on, Mac, John Deere, not Deere John, right? Do they cost more? Sure they do. Are they worth it? Even the ladies say yes, for a couple of reasons. Number one, they last. Secondly, it's the quality. If we break the tool, we get to take it back and get another one. We got a lifetime warranty. You're paying a little extra, but you get what you pay for. Now, personally, I consider everything you see up here to be tools for the kitchen. Probably the most important tools we use. We're feeding families out of these tools. Now, I got tools in my garage I use 2 or 3 times a year. How often do you use the tools in your kitchen? Every day. Average family cooks at least 1 meal a day. That's 300 meals a year, 20,000 meals in your lifetime. I don't see the wisdom of buying those tools from Walmart because you're buying them over and over and over and over. Get quality tools you buy one time, ones with lifetime warranties. So ladies, I have good news for you. There's 2 ways for the women in my audience to get this tool for free. One way is at the end of my show. The second way is when you go home tonight. Take a tour of his toolbox. See the tools he buys. Then go up to him and say, honey, I love you and I'd like for you to make those healthy salads from now on. And then you hand him the tool you use to make it with. Give him one of these.
No.
You just make sure you give him that deluxe model. Get the Band-Aids in there, okay? He's going to need those. We learned this a long time ago. When a man makes a salad like that with this tool, next day one of these will magically appear in your kitchen. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Now, guys, I told you that we started making the cookware back in 1906. Back in the early days, we used to send salespeople door to door. They'd knock on your door. We'd have a little chat with you on the doorstep. You'd invite us in, and then we'd invite all your neighbors over. And we'd do a little dinner party. That's how we'd sell the cookware. We still do those dinner parties to this day. I've done a bunch myself. I'll tell you something I learned about people by being in their houses. And that is that we all take a lot of pride in our kitchens. Don't we? That is the heart of the house. That's where the families gather. That's where the meals are prepared. It's where the love is. And it's the most expensive room in your house. If you think about that, those appliances do cost, right? Anybody's remodeled a kitchen lately? Cabinets alone are between $10,000 and $50,000, just depending on the wood you use, and all you do is hide stuff in them. $3,000 to $5,000 on your coriander granite countertops. But the least expensive part of your kitchen is also the star of the kitchen, and that's your cookware. Now, when I go to somebody's house to do a dinner party, I always ask them where they keep that cookware. 9 times out of 10, they're going to point to the lower part of the cabinets. And when I go down to get it, it usually sounds a little something like this. That lid. That's just looking for the lid. Now, your kitchens look great. You go to your favorite grocery store, you buy your favorite foods. In fact, we're a little picky on the foods, aren't we? No bruising, no dented cans. You look at expiration dates. Bring that expensive food home. You end up cooking them in tools that look more like this. The all-American set of pots and pans. You guys remember Revereware, copper bottom cookware? This is actually pretty good cookware. We call this the wedding cookware. We're always giving it as a wedding gift. Nice wedding gift too, not cheap, about $100 a piece and worth it. Stainless steel with a copper bottom. Only issue with Revereware, very thin bottom. It does get hot spots. You gotta constantly stir while you cook or your food sticks to the hot spots. Great cookware, but you're kind of married to the stove when you use it. Anybody happen to own any disposable cookware called Teflon? 6 weeks later, Teflon. And by the way, when that Teflon leaves the pan, where's it go? Too much pepper on your eggs, you didn't use pepper that morning. DuPont's the company that makes it. I got some terrific news for all of you. This will be the last year you can buy a Teflon pan in any store in the United States of America. They're outlawing its sale starting in 2016 because one of the chemicals used is called PFOA when they make it. It's been found to be a carcinogenic. So they can't have it on anything that's going to be touching food any longer, so they're taking the pan off the market. Plus, if you put it on your stovetop and overheat it over 250 degrees, it releases an odorless gas. If you happen to have a pet bird in your house, it will kill it. It's very toxic to birds and sugar gliders too, the little small sugar gliders they have. It'll kill plants. It doesn't kill humans, but it gives you flu-like symptoms. We call it the Tef flu. Good news is, though, we don't have to worry about that because it's leaving our stores after this year. Now, the last 2 pans, one of them is one of my favorites, except a bigger version of it. Cast iron skillet. Been around since the days of the Pilgrims, and for a good reason. Excellent cooking utensil. Reason it's so good is that once it gets hot, it stays hot. I don't know if you guys have ever had cornbread out of cast iron, but man, there's not a whole lot better than that. The only issue with cast iron is it is porous. So when you first get one home after you've washed it, what are you supposed to do to it? You gotta season it. Oil it, grease it, put it in the oven, turn the oven up, the metals expand, the oil and grease fill the pores, and you're supposed to have non-stick cookware. Of course, the first egg you cook sticks, doesn't it? A couple weeks later, you cook some fish and that sticks. That's how we got fish sticks. I'm here all weekend. Did you guys ever see a cast iron skillet got crud on the outside edge? That's grandma's cooking. Been around so many years, heated up and cooled down and so porous, food actually penetrated through the metal, came out the other side. That's what that crud is. Not a health issue. Every time you heat this pan, it will kill the bad stuff. Point is, excellent cooking utensil, just not the most sanitary in your kitchen. The last pan I talk about, guys, I am the most serious about. This is the #1 selling cookware in America, and it's also in every American restaurant. It's called aluminum cookware. Number one seller for two reasons. One is aluminum conducts heat very quickly. Second reason, cheap, inexpensive. You're going to find it lining the shelves at discount department stores. Do any of you know of any of the diseases that they say are associated with aluminum?
Yeah. Autism.
Alzheimer's, number one.
And autism.
Also in autism. Also Parkinson's. Dr. Oz just had a special on his show on this topic. They were saying that people who were dying of Alzheimer's had 8 times more aluminum in their brains than those who died of natural causes. Now, the fact of the matter is I'm a chef, I'm not a doctor. So instead of a medical statement, I'm going to show you an experiment. I do wash this pan every show that I do. I never cook out of it. I'll start with this cup of clear water, we'll pour it in the pan. I'm also going to use a little Scotch-Brite scrub pad. These are the kind you get from the grocery store. Oops. Would you look at that, make sure it's a regular Scotch-Brite, nothing tricky going on?
And clean.
Looking good?
Yep.
Let me cut a little square off of here. Now, if you guys happen to own aluminum cookware, or you used to own it, do you remember when you first got it home, how nice and shiny it was? Then you started cooking in it. And when you cooked in it, the metal would start to darken up on you, wouldn't it? The more you cook, the darker that metal will turn until you cook something like spaghetti sauce. Tomato sauce, applesauce, rutabaga, anything with acid. Got nice and shiny again, didn't it? Where did that dark stuff go? In your food. And where'd that sauce go? Into you. Guys, I'm not a doctor. I do know what the dark stuff is. It's called aluminum oxide, and my friends, it is poison to your body. That's what it looks like. Now, they won't tell you this in this country because it's the #1 selling pan and money talks. Did you guys know they've already outlawed the sale of aluminum cookware in 11 countries on this planet, including our friends to the north in Canada? The one thing those 11 countries have in common is that they all have socialized medicine. Their government pays for their health care. They're not going to let somebody sell you something that's going to get you sick because they've got to pay to get you better. Now, we pay for our own health care here, but I got a bigger startling fact for you. Do either of you happen to own a dog or a cat? Did you know that in the United States of America, it's a federal law that veterinarians and kennels cannot serve animals out of aluminum dishes?
Really?
They used to use aluminum in the kennels. It's a very cheap metal. What's an animal do when it gets done eating the food out of a bowl? It licks the bottom of the bowl. The aluminum oxide would get trapped in their throats. They'd end up with throat cancer. So they made it against the law to feed them that way. This is what they were getting on their tongues. Now, guys, I don't know about you. If a veterinarian's not feeding an animal out of it, I'm choosing not to feed my family out of it as well. So, what are you supposed to use? Welcome to Kitchen Craft. I'm going to give you guys the quick 1-minute commercial, and then we're going to let you guys sample those vegetables, okay? Here's how we make Kitchen Craft. We start with cast iron. That is the first layer of metal we use. We love cast iron. Cast iron holds heat. We don't like that it's porous. And by the way, we also magnetize it so it'll work on the new induction stovetops. So we wrap it in 3 layers of a pure aluminum alloy. Now, aluminum conducts heat quickly. We like that property. We just don't want you eating off of it. So we make it safe. Put the aluminum on the inside where it never touches food. We then wrap this in 3 more layers of what's called T304 surgical stainless steel. Now, this isn't just any stainless steel. This is what hospitals use when they put a pin in your body or do a heart valve or hip replacement. 100% non-porous, nothing sticks to it permanently, and it's indestructible. Now, you remember earlier I called these tools for the kitchen? Like any good tool, we laser our name on the side. That's a warranty, not lifetime. This is heirloom quality. You leave it to your kids to raise their families with, they're going to leave it to their kids. We're going to replace, if necessary, the handles, the knobs, and the metals forever for free. Now, we've been doing this since 1906. We're not going anywhere. Take all 7 layers, we bring them up the side, we finish with that rolled lip so you can cook waterless. Does that sound expensive? Yeah, it's not cheap, like any good tool. But compared to bad health, this is a real bargain. Besides, how many of you would agree you get what you pay for? Cookware is no different. And I always say, what's the value of a tool you're going to use every day for the rest of your life? That's priceless. All right, let's get the food served up. Now, we're going to start with these carrots I did the old-fashioned way. These are the ones that I boiled. And by the way, guys, I did have a cup of coffee this morning. Does anybody here drink coffee? Aren't we taught to make coffee by taking some hot water, running it through some coffee grounds? That liquid then goes into a cup. We end up drinking what's in that cup. What do we end up doing with the coffee grounds? Throw them out. Maybe throw them in the garden, use them as a compost. That'd be a good idea, right? Why is it we're taught to do the complete opposite when it comes to vegetables? With vegetables, we're taught to take the good stuff, the cancer-fighting enzymes, the nutrients, and we dump those down the kitchen sink. Then we drive over to Walgreens, spend $35 on a bottle of vitamins to replace what we just threw down the sink. Then we take the compost and feed it to the family. That just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, does it? And by the way, I've cooked out the nutrients, I've cooked out the flavor and taste of those carrots. What do I need to do to make them taste good again?
Salt. Salt, butter.
I'm falling apart back here, that's okay. Salt, butter, cheesy sauce, ranch dressing. You know, you go to the doctor, he says your blood pressure's too high, eat more vegetables. Doc, I have vegetables every single day. I don't understand why it's not coming down. It's not the vegetables, is it? It's what we're cooking out of them, what we're adding to them. It's actually hurting us. So guys, I'm gonna show you an alternative way. This is called waterless cooking. Do you remember the colors of these vegetables when I put them in? Take a look at these colors coming out.
You look better now. There you go.
The greens are still green, the purple cabbage is still purple. It's not battleship gray that normally happens when you boil. When you can see the colors, you're looking at nutrients that are still intact. Now I'm going to show you guys something about quality cookware you don't get with cheap cookware. This is called details. Here's a detail for you. How many times are you at home cooking, looking for a place to put your hot lid? We now build a holder into all of our pans.
Oh, nice.
Is that a good idea?
Mine don't have that.
No, they don't have that.
No.
Also, every one of those lids, hot plate. We think of just about everything. And guys, if you cook this way at home, good chance your neighbors are going to drop by. You're going to say they're hungry. Why isn't dinner on the table? You look at them and smile, tell them dinner's on the table. Silver platter, go ahead and eat. There it is, huh? Kind of a dramatic way to make a point.
That's sweet.
The best way to put this to you guys is like this. Is anybody here familiar with a little kitchen store up at the mall called Williams-Sonoma? High-end kitchen store, got some great kitchen gadgets. Also has some pretty good cookware called All-Clad. Now, All-Clad's good cookware. If you ever watch the Food Network, that's the one you see them using all the time. It's got a lifetime warranty as well. In fact, it's on sale right now. I just got a flyer in the mail. A 22-piece set of All-Clad is on sale for only $4,000. Now, if you don't want to spend that kind of money on cookware, go next door to Macy's. They got a set of Calphalon for $2,000, which is half the price. Or you can go to Walmart and get a complete set of junk, $39.88. Doesn't matter which of those sets you buy. If you were to cook vegetables without water in any of them, what would happen to the bottom of the pans? Scorch and burn. Now I'm happy to show you at Kitchen Craft, a paper towel and a little bit of water. We call this a wipe and a rinse. You're going to see that our cookware looks brand new again. It's going to look that way forever. If it doesn't, we replace it for free. We put that in writing. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you to you. This is the pan that our company made back in 1958. It's 57 years old. This cookware holds up. And back then we were a 3-ply cookware. 3-ply kind of sounded like this. Today we're a 7-ply. So we've improved on the metals, but if it looks this good 57 years later as a 3-ply, just think how good this one's going to look 57 years from today. We're very proud of the product that we make. Okay, let me go ahead and grab a plate here. Now tell me guys, if I'd have used water, by the way, all those flavors of those vegetables would have mingled together. It would have tasted like succotash. Since I didn't use any water, all the flavors remain in the vegetables. Tell me if this would not look good on your dinner table at home. Is that a good looking spread? Wait till you taste it. One last thing about this cookware I'm extremely proud of. Not only is it the easiest cleaning cookware you'll ever own, and not only do we guarantee it forever, but guys, everything you see up here, including me, is made exclusively, entirely, and very, very proudly right here in the United States of America. 100% American made. We've been that way since 1906, and we're very proud of that. By the way, I usually have an applause sign, which I can't find, so yeah, thank you very much. All right, go ahead and put that away. We're going to sample some foods. I got some toothpicks. Actually, there's only 2 of you here. If you guys want to come up, do me a favor, take a toothpick, try the boiled carrot first. I know you've had a boiled carrot before. That's not the point. Try the boiled carrot, and then try the carrot on the waterless vegetables to see if you can taste the difference. And then after that, help yourself to any of those other vegetables that are on there. And you can go ahead and shut that off. All right.